G'day guys, it's Adam from VideoShowMeHow, and in this video I'm going to show you how to repair your chain. So you've gone for a pedal, or in my case about to go on a pedal, and lo and behold, guess what happens? We break your chain. That can happen at any time, and I guess it can happen also anywhere on your chain linkage as well. The main thing is, well, what do we do about it and how do we fix it? So I'm going to show you one of the most common ways and most effective ways, I think, to be able to fix it, and most cost effective really. There's a number of different ways, and we'll talk about those as we go through this now. You're going to need a few different tools to be able to complete the job. Not too many though. You're going to need some cable ties, and the main reason for that for me is because I have a chain guide here, so I'm going to need to take that off to be able to thread this through a little bit easier, give me a bit more room. So if you've got one of those, you're probably going to need some of these bad boys, but you're going to need those anyway. The main thing that you're going to need is a chain tool. Now you can get these from basically anywhere. They're super cheap online, as you can see here as well. But essentially this is the tool that you use, the chain goes through there to actually break the chain apart and pull the pins out. So you definitely need one of those. Some pliers, probably needle nose the way to go, but these guys are also good. And of course the main event is you're going to need some connecting pins. Now these are pretty common, easy to find, and pretty cheap as well. So this is a 3-pack obviously. They've even ticked the box. Apparently you can get a 50 pack. That's quite a few. So I guess for the average punter, 3 is probably going to be sufficient. Now this I think was only a couple of bucks. I think it was about $4 or something like that. So they're pretty easy to get, and obviously pretty cheap as well. And that is all you need. An alternative to the chain connecting pins would be one of these master links. Now these are called all sorts of things, but I know them as master links, and it's essentially this particular link here. So what you do is you buy that as one sort of link, and it has pins front and back. So you get the front and the back section of the link section itself, and then the pins. And the idea is that you thread through, and then you'll have a front and a back, and you can sort of slide it on. And you can see there's a little, a bit of a groove in there. So when you pull the brakes, and then pull down on the pedals, press on the pedals, and it essentially pulls it tight and links it in. So it builds another link in essentially. Now the place that I bought these from didn't actually have any of those, so probably a little bit harder to find, I guess, and probably cost a little bit more. But as far as this video goes, we're going to be using the connecting pins and showing you how to repair your chain. And as you can see here, mine is pretty solidly busted. Show you how to repair them using the connecting pins. So my chain here, you can see, has broken off at one of the pin points here, and you can see that it's made a bit of a mess of those 2 links there as well. Here's our other end, and this one looks pretty okay. It's literally just the pin has broken out there. So what we're going to want to do is essentially remove this link altogether and reattach with one of our new pins. Alright, so these are pretty straightforward. Just got to bust them open, and that's essentially all we need. I've got some instructions here. Actually looks like we've got 2 sets of instructions here. That's a double instruction bonus. But at the end of the day, pick your language here. We have 1,000 different types in here. Here we go. So as you can see, there's a bit of warning here. Make sure you're connecting it, blah blah blah. Make sure you get the right size. So as you can see here, we have the 9-speed because that's the type of rig that we have here at the moment. But there's a number of different types because of the size of the chain itself and how wide it is. So make sure you get the right one. It tells you what type of chain tool that you need here as well, a la a do-all eBay special. And then gives you a bit of a how-to here as well around which way to do it, and we're going to be doing it down the bottom here because apparently that is stronger. And then as you can see here, this is essentially what we're going to be doing. We're going to be removing the link that we have existing, and then reinstalling it by following the method of use, whatever that is meant to mean. Essentially, we're going to be rejamming in the new pin at the right point and then using our pliers to break off the excess. But enough of that sort of stuff. Let's get stuck in to actually replacing it on our rig. Now, first up for me, I just need to remove this, so I'll get cracking with that. And that's pretty straightforward there. So for me, it's just a matter of feeding this guy back. So I've got plenty of room to move. And then here's our front part of the chain as well. Now what I'd actually recommend is with your rear derailleur is to get a zip tie or two and pull that forward and just zip tie it on here like that. That way you're not going to be fighting the thing the whole time that you're doing this. So once we've done that, we need to thread it through so that we have both our ends at the bottom here. We're going to complete the repair at the back of the main crank here. So in this case, we'll just get this guy out of the way, and then we need to have a look at what we've got to play with. Now, we already had a look at the start, so this guy here is the right link, and we can see that that's all good. It's nice and clean there, and there's no dramas. This is our fender. I'll just get a bit more length through here. So this is our breakage offender, and this is the one we want to replace. So you can see here that we need to get the right side. So we just need to trace back until we get another open piece. That's probably the technical term, but I'm not entirely sure. Essentially, the open one like this, because we want to make sure that that link. It's hard to actually turn this around, but we want to make sure that the link is the same, if that makes sense. So we can see here, if I take that pin out here, that's going to leave us with another one of these guys, in which case we're not going to be able to join it. So if we go back one more and take that particular pin out, we're going to find that we're going to be left, we'll take this guy here, and this inner piece. So we'll take that out. Is going to shorten our chain a little bit, in which case we're going to need to adjust the rear derailleur and possibly the front as well, but that's no biggie, and there's going to be a video on that as well, so check out the channel. But essentially we want to take that component out because that will enable us to rejoin with our connecting pin into the new spot. So this first step is just a matter of grabbing your chain breaker tool. These are a super simple little thing, and this one in particular has even the sizes on the side here. Now in our case we have a 9 speed, so this is where we want to rest the chain across, and essentially what this does is the chain sits over here just like that, and then we wind in, or wind out in this case because I need to get the chain in, but we wind out, we wind in, and that pushes this pin through and pushes the actual pin of the chain all the way out. So let's get stuck in and do that now. Now, like we said before there, this guy here is our offending connector, so we want to get rid of that one. The one in the middle here is no good to us because it's the wrong type. It's an innie, not an outie. That's our new technical term. We want an outie, which is this guy here. So this is the one we want to break apart. You can see there's our pin for it, just in the back there. So we want to install that onto our breaker unit here. So you might need to wind that out a bit until it slots into place. We have a 9-speed chain, so we want to make sure that we use the very far one here, which is the 9-speed. So we can just slot him in there like that. And once it's in there, you'll see that these little pins slot into place, and then we have our center pin that we want to drive essentially out by winding this guy in. So let's do that now. So you can see there the pin is absolutely getting driven out there. Now we had a bit of a click as it goes. You just need to use your muscles to make that happen, and keep going until the pin comes out. Keep going, and then there you have it. There's our pin. and our offending unit. So we can turf that, wind your breaker back out until it's out far enough and you can remove. Here we go. So now we have the pieces we want. So this is our offending link. You can see there that that guy's pretty well cactus bent well and truly out of shape, so we can turf that piece there, and what we're left with is undamaged outie, technical term, remember, outie piece, which should, if we have a look here at our other existing part of the chain, it should link in just like that. And then kabam, we just need to use our new connecting pins, drive that in there, break it off, and have a bit of an adjustment on our rear derailleur if need be, and hit the trails. Alright, so in our case, we are obviously only going to need one of these. Superhuman bags. Holy mackerel. They are not designed to come apart. Either that or it's my super weak girly arms. But in any case, that's what we're looking at, peeps. You can see there that there is a bit of a pointy bit. Funnily enough, that's the bit we drive in, and then we have a line here, and that's where that is designed to get broken off. So once it goes in through our slot, that part should be inside the chain, driven in that way until we get that part just overhanging, and that's when we can break that off with the pliers, and we should be okay. So putting Humpty Dumpty back together again, it's a matter of using our chain tool to drive our pin in here. Now I found the easiest way is actually to join it together like this. Get your pin, make sure that you've got the pointy end, so not the flat head, so to speak, on the end here, the part with a little bit of a point on it, and use that to essentially drive in, so at least it's connected and holding together. So if we join these guys like that, get that guy, it should push in, and push in most of the way. Alright, so once we've got that, get your chain tool and line him up. Once that's in there, and we've got enough room, we just need to drop him in there. I need a little bit more actually, until it looks a little bit like that. With the pin sitting in ready to go, then we just need to drive it in. So you start winding. And you'll hear that click there again. So essentially we're going to want to drive all the way through until we start seeing the line on the other side. And keep turning, guys, until you can see the actual line that's gone all the way through. So you can just sort of make that out there. I think you can see the line. So that is good to go. So now we just want to back it off and get it out of there. Cool, so once you've done that, you're going well. The next step is just to essentially break off our extra bit. So this is where grabbing your flat and fat pliers here. Just a matter of going in from the top, lining it up with the line there, and breaking it off just like that. And there you go. We are good to go, just like a new one, sort of. Alright, so once you've got it all back together, for me, I've just had to re-add this because, of course, I may have forgot to do that when I was rejoining it. Of course I did, so I've just used one of the quick links, which for me is this guy here. They're the pull-apart links that I've used, so I was able to easily get that guy back on. And then it's just a matter of making sure that everything is nice and smooth. So just basically following the chain around and making sure that there's no kinks or anything like that, that the derailleur is nice and smooth, which it is there. We are good to go. Oh, there's a little kink in there, so give it a bit of a lube and go for a pedal. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Click here if you want to subscribe to the channel. You'll find lots of other videos showing you through how to do all sorts of stuff just like this one and also this one. Other than that, I hope you have a great day. Remember to hit the subscribe button, it really helps support the channel, and I'll see you next time.